Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. As many of you know, I'm Recommend. Hello. How you doing, guys? Hello. So today we're going to be taking a look at the SF30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad. It's a controller by 8bitdo that's primarily marketed as a Nintendo Switch controller, but it also works with many other systems. For example, you can use it. Take a look here. You got the Switch, as it says here, Mac OS 10.7 and above. You can use it on Android. You can use it on Windows 7 and above. It does have Bluetooth 4.0. You can use it with Steam. I'm guessing they mean Steam OS and not just regular Steam, although it should work with regular Steam on regular Windows as well. And Raspberry Pi. Now, out of all of these, I've tested them all except maybe Steam OS because I just use Steam on Windows, and it works perfectly with those. Now, what they don't put here for some strange reason, and it does work, if you have the proper adapters, you can use it on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Classic Edition, and the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So there's even more more options that they don't really advertise. You just have to have the right adapters for it. So you can use it wirelessly. When you open up the box, you really don't get too much in there. It's just pretty much the instruction manual and a USB-C cable, which I actually like. I love the fact that they moved on to USB-C. Here's the controller. You know, USB-C is great. I'm glad that it's actually starting to finally become universal. You don't have to go all crazy trying to figure out what direction to plug stuff in. It's great. So here's the controller itself. It's actually very sturdily, well built. You know, for plastic, it feels, you know, has a nice heft to it. It feels good in the hand. It's a little chunkier than an actual Super Nintendo controller, and I'll get that right here. Here's a Super Nintendo controller. So you can see it's a little chunkier, but not by much. It's close enough, you know, considering the fact that it does have extra features, which I'll get to in a minute. But you see, it's not bad, especially for a wireless controller. There's a battery in there. In addition, let's get that on camera for you guys. You see on the top there's extra buttons. So there you go. So in addition to having your normal, you know, YX, BA buttons, and you now have analog buttons here, and you can press them. You can hear that. And a nice clickiness to it. You have extra buttons, L2 and R2 in the back, in addition to your normal shoulder buttons. The control pad actually feels pretty good. It feels very close to a stock SNES pad, which is great because sometimes, you know, that's the one thing that a lot of manufacturers get wrong. You do have your screenshot button here for the Switch, as well as your home button, and they work great. I have no problems with it. Actually using the controller with the Nintendo Switch, it works perfectly. I have no issues with it whatsoever. I actually play King of Fighters 98, and with this controller, I can play it by far the most accurate to an arcade game than I can with any other controller on the Switch. For example, if I use the Joy-Cons, forget about pulling out combos. With this, I can pull out combos and actually play. Orochi Yoshiro, all you Orochi Yoshiro players out there, give me a thumbs up, because you know, to get his stuff out, you got to put in some practice, and you need a great controller for that. So this works great. So you also have motion controls built into this. So if you're playing Mario or Mario Odyssey, you know, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can shake it around, and you'll be able to twirl his cap or whatever else Mario needs to do. Of course, the battery is built in, it's rechargeable. Here's the USB-C port on it. Pairing was pretty easy. You generally just go into the pairing screen, you hold down Y and start, it should pair within a couple of seconds. It was very quick and easy, and I really like the controller. It's about 50 bucks on Amazon, which is a couple of dollars cheaper than a regular Pro controller for the Switch, and it feels great. There's some complaints about the original Pro controller for the Switch not really having this pivot in the middle here. So when you press down, all directions press down. This actually has the pivot, which is great. Now, if you have an older 8bitdo controller, like say this FC30 here, this is actually the precursor to this controller. This controller, the only advantage it would have over this one is actually that it's a lot flatter. So if you put them together, you can see it's a lot flatter. This is more for going outside. Like if you want to play it on your smartphone or something like that, you just don't have a lot of room in your pockets or whatever, this is a good controller for that. But honestly, the analog sticks don't feel anywhere near as good. And well, the joystick is pretty decent, but it's just something about this controller doesn't have the same feel as this. I don't know if they upped their quality control or maybe Nintendo was like put their foot down, but this feels a lot better than this. You know, other than being a little bit bigger. I mean, this is good if you want to take it outside. There's no motion controls on this though, and of course you got the old school, you know, USB. You don't have USB-C on this. And you know, the way these buttons are set up are kind of awkward in comparison to, you know, this controller, because I find this to be a lot more comfortable. So guys, I really do like this controller. It works great and everything. I've actually played it on the Switch. I've played it on the Nintendo Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic. I have played it on the original Super Nintendo. I have played it on the actual Nintendo, and actually with the retro USB ABS, and it handles well. It's definitely worth it. Like I said, good build quality. You got all your Switch functions here. The HD rumble, I will say, is a little weak. I don't know how HD it is because I really don't care for rumble like that. But you know, there is a rumble and it does work. You at least get your feels if you enjoy that kind of motion. You know, that kind of rumbling action in your hands. So if you enjoy it, thank you very much, guys. A definite recommend. And again, I'm recommend. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as recommend. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and of course hit that bell so you'll be notified when I do new videos. I do have quite a few new controllers and little gadgets that I want to show you guys, and I just need to get them subs up. All right, take care, guys. I'll see you next time.